Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time every week and joining us on these weekly live training webinars. So, as you know, we try to pick a hot new concept, sales strategy, carrier product, all the above to make sure that our agents have a leg up against their competition, right? And also being able to open new doors, right? And tell new stories and ultimately selling more policies and changing your income and success for the year. That's our goal, right? To help you all. And we need to huddle up every week and see what's hot, what's not, and get the message out consistently to our field force. So you all should be doing the same exact thing when it comes to your consumers, your prospects, your clients, right? You have to keep your foot on the gas and come up with a new strategy, a new product, right? Something new to talk about to get the door open to tell your consumers about a new concept that's going to help them with retirement, with cash accumulation, with estate planning, family protection, right? Some of these excellent ways to save on taxes by leveraging Mary Reid strategies. You can talk about buy-sell agreements, business insurance, whatever the case is, right? It's our goal to get these strategies out to you, and then you need to figure out your way to keep these messages and your name out to your consumers. And we have all of the tools and the product portfolio to do exactly that. So what we're going to talk about today, I'm going to give you the 100-foot overview. And then Phil, our IUL expert and our VP, is going to dive in. I'm going to run for about 10, 15 minutes, and then he's going to take the wheel. What I do want to talk about is what's working great for agents this year. Okay, and I'll tell you what, I have never seen numbers like this ever in my 23 years. Okay, Kerry started the business in 1972. So as you know, we're going on 50 plus years now. I'm going on 23 years, and we have never seen premium come in like what we're seeing in 2022. We've never seen IUL sales skyrocketing like what we're seeing this year. And, you know, you kind of scratch your head and say, well, Bill, we're kind of entering into a small recession here, and some people think it's bigger than others. But bottom line is there's a lot of changes going on in the economy right now with the market, as you know, and it's your job, right, to go in and talk about some solutions that have a floor, right, that have a guaranteed floor where your client, consumer, insured, right, where they can start the year off, let's say 2023, and not be in the red, right, and you can share a strategy that gives them family protection as well as a retirement income, cash accumulation, a tax-free death benefit. So what we're going to learn about today is an A-rated company called Symmetra, okay? And if you've been with us a while, yes, we've had Symmetra for at least 7 to 8 years now. But here's what's so exciting, and it's crazy how the whole story came up, is one of our marketers who's on the call right now, he said to me, Bill, he said, his name's Robert, and I know a lot of you know Robert and speak to him on a daily basis. So Robert said to me, Bill, I had this agent I was working with, and the agent sold a $2 million term policy, and the client was approved within a day and a half. And not only was approved, but got an unbelievable rate, okay, preferred health class, and it was within like 48 hours. And he goes, usually, yes, we have quick turnaround underwriting products, and, you know, yes, we have other great companies. And he said, but what's so amazing is to have a premium that's within the top 5, right, when it comes to all term products, and to have a turnaround time within 48 hours. In fact, it was a day and a half. Was astonishing to me, and I had to share this with you. And it was Symmetra is the carrier behind this. And I said, wow, Robert, I got to look into this a little deeper. And I had a conversation with Phil, our VP, and it turns out they're also coming out with this new IUL, okay, that we wanted to launch on today's call. So the point is, in the past, there's usually been a price to pay for this great underwriting. Okay, usually the faster, right, the underwriting is. Let's think about this for a minute. The faster the underwriting is, and the less painful to your client, the higher the premium is. So when you have a win-win-win like Symmetra has, and that's what we're going to dive into today, we had to share this with our agents, with our field force. So that's how this came up. Symmetra is one of these carriers you need to have in your toolbox, okay? And as you know, we have 90 companies, but we only have a handful of core carriers, right? And Symmetra is becoming one of our core carriers literally overnight. So that's why I wanted everyone to get comfortable with the product offering. I wanted everyone to understand how the underwriting platform works. And my goal is that you get appointed by the time we hang up today, right, with Symmetra, with Levinson. And if you already have a contract, maybe under another IMO, but you want to take advantage of all of our tools, maybe our Ringy CRM tool or our lead program, we will match or beat your commissions plus free leads or cash for contracting as soon as you place your first application. So it's a win-win-win across the board. They also have some other bells and whistles Phil's going to get into, so I don't want to steal his thunder. Some neat external term conversion program, a great underwriting credit platform that he's going to dive into, but some really, really cool stuff. Some of this I've never seen before. So make sure your pen and paper is out. Use that Q&A box, right? We have that question pane that you should be able to expand. You also want to get comfortable with that Q&A box because at the end of today's presentation, I'm going to ask our question of the day, and whoever answers first and correctly wins. I have the new Amazon Fire 10 tablet. Okay, they just came out with the Fire 10. I'm giving that away. Plus, I'm giving away an IUL prospecting book on us if you answer first and correctly. The question has to do with one of the slides that we're going over in the next 50 minutes here. So make sure you're paying attention. If you have questions, please type away. We will answer every single question that comes in real time. If we can't get to you, we will reply as soon as we wrap up the webinar. If we need to involve Phil, we can. So just ask away, fire away. We want to hear comments, good, bad, and different. After all, we create these trainings for you all, and if there's something we need to change or do better or bigger, please share. Okay? You're not going to hurt our feelings. We have to make sure every single one of you loves what you're about to see during the next 50 minutes. So please, I can't stress that enough. Okay, so let's jump into the first slide here. It's a crazy time here, as you know, right, in this world, in this country. It's just crazy. Lots of ups and downs. The market is crazy. We're hearing about all this stuff on the news, and it's just, and I've never seen anything like it, right? But as insurance agents, right, financial advisors, I know we have a lot of CPAs, estate planning attorneys. We have to protect these families, and we have to come up with these great solutions, right, and present them to these families, our customers. And what's so important in the way that I look at this is when you come up with an idea, a strategy, okay, it's something that's guaranteed, that's not based on the S&P and something that maybe can't drop below the waterline, right? When you're the superhero, the Superman, Superwoman, right? Not only do you build a relationship, a client forever, but all of a sudden you have this referral stream, the doors are open for you, and it's like you say to yourself, I wish I would have done this, a year ago, 5 years ago, right? Because it almost becomes easy in a way, right? Once you're off to the races and you help a family, a customer, and they're sending you all their friends and family and network groups, right? And you have to scratch your head and say, okay, why didn't I do this before? Okay, and if I didn't, why don't I start today? Why don't I leverage all of these great tools and get the word out, right? And I'm going to look at what Levinson's doing. How did they build their agent base from 200 agents to over 21,000? Okay, and it's by CRM tools. It's by keeping our message out there day in and day out, keeping our foot on the gas. Okay, you have to look in the mirror and say, Bill, IUL sales are up right now. It's a LIMRA statistic. Okay, it's never been higher. you have to get involved, okay? And if you have never sold an IUL, know enough to be dangerous. If you're an IUL veteran, okay, know the top products, where they shine, where they don't, okay? And you're going to learn about one of them in the next few minutes here, okay? Also, if you look at the last year or two, you as an agent, as a financial advisor, you have to be aware, right? Families, consumers, they need life insurance right now, okay? Everything with COVID, with this pandemic, right? The awareness, life insurance awareness is through the roof, okay? So again, come up with these solutions, okay? Also, here's another interesting LIMRA fact that you need to be aware of, okay? When you look at 2021, last year, and if you think about this statistic for a minute, 2021, okay, over so yes, we know life insurance sales are skyrocketing. That's a fact, and we know why, right? 21, 22, we're halfway through, and even part of 20, okay? Numbers are through the roof. Now, think about this for a second, and this is just another feather in your cap and a way to help your clients, your consumers. 3,000 policies were also sold in 2021 through a life settlement transaction. Okay, 3,000 policies. Now think about this. Every year, 9 million policies are lapsed or surrendered. Okay, so another feather in your cap, yes, you have to plant the seed, talk about life insurance policies and why they're so important, IUL, but then on the flip side of this, for the families, right, that are getting hit by this slight recession that we're going through, okay, and I don't want to scare anyone, but the reality is these policies are being surrendered, okay? So another great story to tell is life settlements. Hey, you can get a cash offer for that policy if you're going to let it just lapse or surrender it. Don't do it before it's too late, okay? Don't wait till the last second. So you, as an agent, financial advisor, can also help with that as well. So we have the direct source to our actual broker, okay, that funds the policies. So there's not 22 layers. So if that conversation comes up, let us know. But again, you have to know all sides, okay? And we have you covered. Obviously, reach out to any one of our marketers. We can help you with all corners, all sides, right, to make sure you know enough to be dangerous. And ultimately, you can go back and help these families. Very important stuff. Kerry's Corner is another great editorial, right, where he talks about real life stories about underwriters, families, right, agents, GAs, success stories, okay? Some of them aren't so great, but maybe an agent came in, right, and handed a death benefit check to a spouse where they have 3 children, right, that are in a horrible situation but changed their life. Anyway, his stories are insane. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we send these out every month, and the feedback we're getting from agents, from you all, is unreal. Okay, it's unreal. And what's happening is these agents are sharing the stories with their consumers. And again, it's opening doors. Okay, these are real stories, they're facts. And what it does is it pulls the covers back. Okay, and it makes a consumer say, oh my gosh, I never thought this could happen. I never thought about it like this. Okay, so check these out. This will help you tremendously. Okay, and if you like one of these and you want to market it as well, we can help you with co-branding, and we can definitely help you send out through an e-blast using Agency Automator, Ringy, whatever it is. So let us know if you're interested. We're also going to send out all of these in our thank you email that will be in your inbox today. Okay, moving along. I know I'm talking a lot here. AFLAC just launched. Okay, everybody said there's no way AFLAC is going to get involved with life brokerage. Well, they just did. It happened. Okay, it's launched as of last week. So we were able to get agents appointed it started about 3.5 weeks ago, but starting last week, agents can now write AFLAC final expense. Okay, and I'll tell you right now, their premiums are number 2 in the industry. Number 2. Plus, you got the duck, the logo, that great stability name behind it. Okay, so AFLAC is a huge name. Ratings excellent. If you're working final expense burial, a great tool in your toolbox. You need to have it. Look at the commissions, everyone. 113% plus renewals. It's huge, huge. Okay. And again, usually there's like a gray area. There's no gray area with Aflac. Great comp, great product, great premium, great name behind the final expense platform they offer now. So definitely get started. We'll include the contracting in our thank you email. Ringy is huge right now, and I'm going to tell you why. So if you have a big database, okay, when I say big, I don't care if it's 100 people and it's your friends, your network, your family members. If you have a P&C agency, a health agency, maybe even a mortgage company, doesn't matter, real estate company, I would have every single person you know in your Ringy platform. All this is going to do, it's going to keep the message out there that, hey, Bill Levinson is your go-to when it comes to insurance products, long-term care, disability, IUL, all the above. Okay, it's going to send out a text, an email, a phone call, and you can have your appointment setter active where all your consumer or your friend, all they have to do if they want to speak more or get a quote, they hit click on the calendar, Monday, 2 p.m., it's open, boom, you get a text as the agent, and you have a new client set up Monday, 2 o'clock for you to talk about life insurance. Okay, this is a no-brainer. It's a 20 to 25% return, which means for all of the clients, consumers that you put in your database, 20 to 25% are responding, setting an appointment to talk more about life insurance, health insurance, annuities, whatever you focus on. Okay, this is a no-brainer, 30% off for the first 6 months for Levinson agents. Definitely get started with this. I can't stress it enough. When I was talking about our numbers as an IMO for 22 skyrocketing, a big part of it is because of Ringy and our social media Facebook leads. It is blowing up right now. Okay, and here you can see highlighted in yellow, bottom right corner. This is from Agent Mac. Nothing like getting your first sale on a Saturday afternoon, an AIG 20-year term, over $1,000 annual premium. Thank you, Mac. This was his first lead that he purchased. First call, got his first sale from the lead program. Okay, no brainer. This came in about 10 days ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now. So you got to give this a shot. Okay, more technology, more tools that are exclusive through us and free. So real fast, and again, I know we have a lot to talk about today, so I'm going to go quickly. I promise you that, and then we're going to dive in to our feature presentation. So left-hand side, this is really, really neat stuff, and again, complimentary. So this is our new eGenius underwriting tool. So very, very cool. You can access this 24/7 real time from our website. And if you have that client on the phone, or maybe you're at your daughter's soccer game, you meet another parent and you introduce yourself as an insurance agent and they want a quote, but they're a little overweight or they have some prescriptions that you're not aware of or comfortable with, all you do is put in as little or as much information that you have about the client, and the software will tell you instantly what carrier, what health class, and what premium is best for them, right? The next step, you go to our quoting engine or drop ticket, you click away, and literally all the info comes up. 5 to 7 minutes, you just signed up that client and you are done. They will get a call from the interviewer, right, or the exam company. Hopefully it's non-med within 24 hours, and hopefully they get approved within days. And you just wrote a policy on a Sunday afternoon. Okay, very, very simple. Right-hand side, any outstanding requirements. Okay, this tool will simplify your world. No more snail mail, faxing, scanning, emailing. Everything is done in real time on our eGenius requirement platform. And typically $2.50 charge per document, free with Levinson. Okay, and most of our core companies are built into the platform. As soon as your consumer goes in, they check off the form, answer the form, they e-sign. The form goes back to us. You get a copy, the carrier, the underwriter, all in real time before Monday morning, 9 a.m., okay, if you did this on a Saturday. So very neat technology. It's going to get you paid faster and the policy enforced faster. Okay, what's new at Levinson? And then Phil's going to take the wheel. So I'm not going to dive into every single bullet because we have a lot going on here at Levinson. You know, the way we look at it, and if you've been with us a while, you know we stand behind this, is we have to constantly be moving the wheel, right? Pushing the envelope, innovating, finding out what's new, what's hot, right? And then rolling out these great platforms to our agents. So we're always going to have a what's new form that looks like this, because if we don't, we're literally riding a horse in reverse around New York City in 2022, which is not going to happen. Okay, so anyway, we're going to include this in the thank you email. But I do want to talk about just a couple things real quick. The Levinson mobile app was just updated. If you want to take a look at that, you all should have that on your smartphones, Android or iPhone. Again, if you run into that person at the soccer game on a Sunday at 2 p.m., right, you want to have everything at your fingertips. If you need to run a quote and sign up that client, so it's a free download, make sure that is up and running. The revenue booster is another big one. So real fast, we can co-brand this for you. And this is a way that allows you to network and speak to P&C agency owners, health agency owners. You can brand a platform just for them. And then everything sold on the platform, you get full commission on. Then you can work something out for them with a referral fee, or if they're licensed, you can do a commission split. But these are great opportunities, right, for you to supplement your income and have these things running on autopilot in the background. Okay, you have to constantly be thinking forward, right? Exactly like what we do, you should be doing the same thing, and that's why we have all this neat stuff. Okay, without further ado, I want to jump into our feature presentation. So with us today, we have Philip Fibblecorn from Symmetra, our regional VP, and some great new stuff to talk about. Phil, you there, buddy?
I am.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's flip it over. There we go.
All right. We have the screen showing well for everyone?
Yes, we do. Perfect, Phil.
Perfect. All right. Well, Bill, thank you very much for allowing us to be on this call. I wanted to share some new and exciting things here at Symmetra that we can bring and help with your clients and your producers and help meet their goals of their clients and their needs. I'm going to go over a few things today, so let's just get this. I'm going to start with the SWIFT term, and then we'll go into the lead into the new IUL that we just brought it. And if we have time, we'll talk briefly on multi-life VUL and foreign national or some other areas that we're seeing a lot of activity. So everybody we've had a discussion with about the SWIFT term, and as Bill brought up in the beginning, it really is great. It's exciting. The clients are happy. The agents are happy because you're in a position to where you take something that should be simple and you turn it into this long 30 to 60 day process with a lot of exams and questions and records. And we've helped take that down to a process that we'll talk about timing here shortly. I'm just going to start with right now, the age group is 20 to 60. We can go from $100,000 to $2 million of coverage. We are going to be raising that to $3 million of coverage later this year. All risk class are available, including ratings and substandard ones. So the reason I bring that up is other carriers that I've worked at and worked with in the past, you know, you're either approved or declined, or if you are not approved, then you maybe have to do a new application. There's a lot of process to that, or maybe it's just you get a table 1 or everyone's a standard. So all rate classes, all risk classes are involved with this. So if you have people in good health or not, it works. It's any of our term durations. So we have 10, 15, 20, and 30 year. The included riders are the accelerated death benefit for terminal illness. If you choose, you can do accidental death benefit riders, children term insurance riders, waiver of premium riders, and more importantly than anything, it's convertible to permanent insurance. So it's a full program available, but what's the benefit that we're going to be bringing to the product? So it's totally automated, and I'll just walk through this real quickly. You complete a drop ticket in iPipeline as the agent. And when I say that, all you're doing is putting client information in and contact information of what they're buying. So your portion of this is maybe 3 minutes. An email is automatically sent to the client, which is basically the part 2. So with the part 2, you're in a situation where they just answer the yes and no. Once they complete that application, a decision is immediately made and they can pay for that, and we'll talk about how that works next. So again, easy for the clients. There's nothing that you have to do face-to-face, no labs, no medical appointments, no faxes, no long drawn-out conversations. With that being said, here's what the process completes after they complete their portion. There's only 3 things that will happen. Number 1 is instant approval, and that can happen in as quick as 25 minutes. So literally the client finishes, as soon as they're done, they know whether they're approved instantly, and here's your policy on the email, here's your way to pay for that, and up to $500,000 you can actually pay with a credit card, or you can have it bank drafted if it was over that. If there's any question that the underwriter wasn't clear on, we call that our accelerated underwriting, and that could be a few minutes later, or that could take 24 to 72 hours. And really all it is we have a question, could you clarify the answer? Last but not least, if we see that there's enough things in our predictive analytics that think we need to go to full underwriting, it will go to full underwriting, but we still get that done in 30 days is our far side goal. 72% of all the cases that we've done are the first 2. So 72% of the cases are the 25 minutes to 48 hours. The other 28% are going to be the full underwriting. But what's nice about ours is the client will know that the minute they hit the email, you will know that the minute they hit the email, and we will go ahead, they can schedule their exam right then and there. So there's nothing else that we're going to have to bring to the table and cause anything else to be done. Now, as I mentioned, there's a $2 million limit that will be going to $3 million. The other thing that we see a lot is everyone knows that term insurance is a temporary solution to a permanent problem sometimes, and sometimes clients don't want to have to go through the process or pay the premiums for permanent. But if a client does up to a $1 million policy with the term, the SWIFT term, they're eligible for another $1 million of permanent as long as they do it within the 30 days, and we'll use the same process and the same decision that they got before. And they could use the protection IUL, the accumulation IUL, or they could use the VUL. So that's something that I find very exciting, because again, there are times when we do these type of sales where we say, here's what you need in the short term, here's what you need in the long term. So as we're going along, if there's any questions, I think we have a chat feature, or Bill, you could let me know if anybody raises their hand.
Yes, we're on it, Phil.
Okay, perfect. All right. The second thing I want to get into is our new IUL. So what we're going to do with that is have a little bit of background to that of why we changed our IUL platform. With all the regulatory changes that have occurred and we've all lived through between AG 49A and 7702, interest rates are kind of picking up a little bit, but it's still a low interest rate environment historically. You've got inflation issues, you got market concerns. All these things come into play of how can we basically bring something to the client that not only is simple to understand, but it also takes it a little bit further than the typical IUL with an S&P 500 1 year. And again, many of the carriers, when I was in production, you have different options. You might have NASDAQ, you might have foreign exchanges. 96% of all the IUL policies that are sold are S&P 500. So even when people have other options historically, they still felt the comfort level with the S&P. So what we ended up looking at is, maybe we should give some type of alternative index out there, and we're not the only ones that have done that. So again, we're looking at, situations where we're getting lower portfolio yields, the market volatility is driving up the cost of doing this type of business. So what can we do to bring something to the table that's going to help and be in the client's best interest? And as you can see, as Bill has, any of these carriers as well, all the carriers are starting to do something different in that arena in their IUL products. Ours actually, the newest one is the Putnam Dynamic Low Volatility Index with bonuses, but John Hancock has a similar, Lincoln has a similar, and just down the list. So the Putnam Dynamic Low Volatility Excess basically keeps it simple for the clients. It's US stocks, and we're just going to use the S&P Low Volatility Index. It's US bonds, and we're tying that to the 10-year Treasury note, and it's cash positions. So things that a financial advisor, talks to about the client as far as allocation, it definitely is something the clients can understand. There's nothing that's inside of it, as there are with a lot of carriers, that, you have to hit certain criteria for things to happen. We also have put a fixed bonus option in here that we'll go into shortly. So in the interest of time, we're going to go through this one slide here. If we go to the bottom where it has the Putnam Index with the bonus and the Putnam Index with a high participation rate, what we look at is historically the Putnam Index strategy over a 5-year period, as an example, is earned 6.13. Since inception is 4.74. So we're going to use the 5-year window just to give the example. If you use the normal Putnam Index inside of here, you get 125% participation rate and a 0.75% bonus rate, or a 0.75 basis point rate. So if you did average 6.13, you can see with the participation rate and the bonus where that puts you, and that's in the 8.41. If someone didn't want the bonus and they'd rather have the higher participation rate, then it's 165%. So same situation, if you feel that you're going to do better than 6 going forward, maybe it makes more sense using the high participation rate. But keep in mind, you still have the 0 floor, but you have no cap. So this can go as high as it needs to go. So with that product, what we've done is it's a brand new product. It has replaced our accumulation IUL. We've added the bonus, we've added the high participation rate, we've increased, you still have the S&P 500 index options, but we've increased those caps. We've removed the base and select index options, because what ends up happening is you're paying extra fees to have a little bit more cap, and we've found that most people don't like that or do that. We were able to increase the illustration rate to 6% for all the strategies. But again, you can stress that, test that, and have that, or Bill's team can stress test that and run it at different rates for you. We've shifted from a persistency bonus to a fixed bonus, so we have more surety around that. We've definitely increased the target premiums, and we've structured this like we have with our whole strategy of value, transparency, and sustainability, with a lower policy charge structure. So when you look down the list, basically you're in a situation where here's the different index strategies in the new product that you have available. So you've got the Putnam Index strategy 1 year with the bonus, you have it with the higher participation rate without the bonus. You have our allocation index strategies, which works with the JP Morgan Efficiente 5 index. And then you have the core strategies as well. So you have different options available to make available to your client. Just depends on what their goal is. I mentioned that we lowered expenses to these products. So just to give you an example versus the product this replaced, when you take a look at what the numbers look like, and we'll just look at the 20-year and 30-year cumulative charges, we've structured this out to where we're taking a little bit more in the beginning for the first 5 years to totally lower any expenses after the 5th year. So in 20 years, the cumulative charges in the old product would have been $73,000. Now they're $60,000. Now, $13,000 doesn't sound like a lot, but percentage-wise, that's a pretty significant drop. And as you can see, you've got a better charge, so less drag on these policies as well. When I compare that, and again, this isn't picking on anybody, this is just saying, all carriers do this. They find the best thing that they can show. Well, this is just a 55-year-old. We have participating loans, but most of the time with the members that we work with, we may run standard loans. You can see where we're going to fall on all of these. So I'll just stop there. So what you'll notice is here's the males. We're looking pretty darn good there. Here's the same with the females. And we'll go ahead and switch to the participating loans for male, participating loans for females. And again, this shows the benchmark that they're all using for that. We can take it and lower it. A lot of times if somebody's showing 5.74, we can run at 5.74. It's just we, meaning the Levinson and Associates. So anything along that line with that product, the Levinson group has the information, so you can reach out to them for illustration support or any questions you have. Or if you'd like, there's a website, a microsite for that as well. We also have a microsite for the term as well that Bill can get out to the group. Bill, are we okay just for a minute to have the discussion about the multi-life if there's no other questions on the IUL or the term?
Yes, yep, let's do it.
Okay. So that's another thing that's new to us. We brought out a multi-life business program. So basically you're looking for, this is not something that you walk out and say, hey, I can get you covered and you don't have to go through anything. It's guaranteed issue. It really is around the business environment where you're saying, how do I reward and retain my key people? Everybody on this call knows that, when the market wasn't, well, during COVID, anybody that had a job was holding that job. They weren't going anywhere. There weren't any headhunters calling anybody. And I think all of us can see that all happens now. And companies are worried that, they're going to lose people potentially. So how do I reward and retain my people, but not make it a hassle? So we have a program available that you have to have a minimum of 10, I'm going to say executives. So, and I'll explain that in a second, but highly compensated or white collar. This is not for the rank and file. This is not for group coverage for the blue collar. This is going to be your management, your key people. We've done attorney groups. We've done CPAs. I've done engineer groups. We did 142 engineers. This is a situation where you can set something up for them on the accumulation basis or on a death benefit basis, or even a split plan where it's part of that to where there's some recoup back to the company. It's ages 20 to 70. Minimum income 75,000. Obviously, if you have a white collar person or they're a highly compensated employee, they're probably making more than 75. But the reason that we went with 75 versus all our competitors being over 110,000 is you'll usually run into a couple employees that they feel are key, but they don't pay them like they should or they can. So again, we've lowered that to where we can help incorporate some of these people into the plan. And sometimes you have to do that with smaller companies just to get up to the 10. Employment status, we'll keep it simple, they need to be full-time. And US citizens or permanent residents working in the United States. There are some exclusions. So the main ones that we see, this is not going to be for groups that are just trying to buy insurance. Associations, it's not really for churches or religious institutions, labor unions, professional sports teams. So this is going to be your law firms, your radiology groups, your CPA firms. This is going to be family organizations. You know, we had a car dealership in California that, you know, they had the whole family in it and they were looking for ways to bonus the family. So the design around this basically is going to be something that you can structure. So, you know, there needs to be some type of formula. This is we're going to put $1.5 million on each of the people, or we're going to, you know, bonus each of these people $50,000 a year. There's some structure around the decision about how this is set up that you want to have in place. And then we can tier those groups. So you can also say, you know what, here's our tier 1 people. We want to do more for them. Tier 2, a little bit less for them. Tier 3, a little bit less for them. You can set up option A or B on the death benefit. You can pick any of the index strategies. You know, usually these are set up list bill. The one thing I do want to bring up that I probably should have brought up is that surrender and value enhancement rider. Everyone on here knows that every company has early cash value riders. A lot of times we as agents don't like to use them because obviously your compensation is spread. And I've seen some companies go, you know, 6 years to 10 years of spreading compensation. And the drag on the policies is huge later down the road. So to have all your cash value up front means that you've got to have less cash value later. Our surrender value enhancement rider, and we're the only ones that do this, is a $500 charge, and it's a 4-year spread comp. And there's no cut to compensation. So whatever you would have made on the what we call heaped or upfront sale, if you're in the business and this is long-term for you, it's a good idea to think about that surrender value enhancement rider, because you can get all your money over the period of time. It also is very good on 1035s. I mean, think about taking something from Northwestern and showing someone, you know, a very low cash value when you 1035 a large amount. So I'm sorry I went off on that tangent, but that surrender value enhancement rider is something that, you know, to keep in mind is available. As far as the multi-life, basically all we're going to ask them is, have you been hospitalized or absent from work due to illness or accident for more than 3 days in the last 3 months? Are you full-time? And do you use tobacco or not? So literally that's the only underwriting done to this. Everyone in the policy or in the plan gets standard rates. So if you have a small enough group, we could talk about going through full underwriting, but as most businesses say, I don't want to try to herd all these cats and get them all examined and have to get APSs, and maybe some of them are preferred and some of them are rated. So again, you know, we could set it up to where everybody gets standard. The maximum policy is $5 million, and that's a tiered structure. So basically any plans from 10 to 19 people, it's $50,000 of death benefit times the number of lives. So if you, let's go right to the 20 plan for simple math. If I have 20 people, you're going to be able to put $1.2 million on each of the 20 people guaranteed. This is not for term insurance, this is for permanent. But as you can see across the board, you know, there's a structure that if you have enough people, you could do $5 million on each person, but you don't have to do it. So you could say on the top tier people, I want 5 million, on the second tier, 3 million, on the third tier, 1 million. So there is some flexibility in this plan. So as we're getting closer to the end, I'm just going to go ahead. The one thing I do like about all the plans I've been involved with personally and in support of, these are ongoing gifts to you, meaning that every year there's going to be situations where if you set one of these plans up, the company's very happy because you just simplified the whole process. So let's say we set up a key man policy structure and an executive bonus plan. Or let's say we set up a buy-sell agreement or something to where we had multiple people involved. Each year that you get to the anniversary, if they've brought new people on, you can automatically enroll those new people and add them to the plan. If some people have left, You can take them off of the plan or leave them on the plan, and you can just basically structure, especially if you use the early cash value rider, you can structure the cash in that policy over to use to someone else's policy. So there's a lot of flexibility. This is a great opportunity. What most producers I hear from that I talk is, I don't really work in the business environment, or I don't, have business owners. Every single one of us has a relationship with a physician or a doctor, and that doctor is probably associated with some practice. Every single one of us on this call has a relationship with an attorney. If they're with an attorney or a law firm, we looked at one in Cleveland and helped with one in Cleveland that it started a conversation with one attorney that was a client and ended up doing 75 attorneys at the firm. If it's CPAs, if it's, you could go down the list, and we can help with that. This is all administrative type information, so I'm not going to bore you with that. But here's the main thing: here's some areas to think about. Key person coverage, buy-sell agreements, executive bonus plans, non-qual plans, SERP, split dollar. The list goes on and on and on of things that you can structure and do. So with that, I'm going to stop there. We talked about the SWIFT term. There is a lot of business being done, and I would recommend highly that you consider using that on your next case. When I was at Truist, formerly BB&T, I got to where pretty much I said, we have something that we can take 30 days to do, or I have something that can take 30 minutes to do. And literally, as Bill mentioned, usually in the top 5, many times tied for number 1. So, we used to do a lot of Lincoln, and next thing I saw was that Lincoln and Symmetra in a lot of scenarios were the same premium. And I said, well, if I could get this done. So SBA loans are major ones. So if you have somebody looking to back an SBA loan, what do they want? They want a policy in 6 days or less. Well, here's an option for you. So if I've got someone that I feel is in good health, and I can get the best rating or one of the top ratings, and I can get a policy in force same day, this is something that you want to take a look at and consider doing, even on yourself. If you've got a term need, or even just for a practice run, you can say, I'm going to do this on myself because I do have some additional coverage I'd like to do. Set it up, see the process work. You and Levinson are all on the email. So as things move along, you are notified when the client gets the email, when the client completes the email, when the policy is approved and issued, and when it was paid for. Many times this all happens so quickly that you've got a situation that before anybody knows this thing started, we've already got a policy in hand. So if you're looking for ways to simplify and help make more efficient on the term sales situation, this would be something I would recommend that you take a look at. It's gone so well that I don't know if it'll be the end of this year or the beginning of next year. We're going to start using this platform on our permanent, on the Ascent IUL program as well. That's how smoothly it's gone. So once we get a higher face amount, and once we get in a position to make that change, this platform will be structured even for permanent sales. So I'm going to stop there because it's 3:52. If there's any questions, as we talked about, we talked SWIFT term, we talked the new IUL, and we talked about the multi-life opportunities.
Yep, I think we are good. Phil, what we're going to do is we have a few questions that came in. I'll just shoot you an email or call you right after, just so I can get everybody out on time. But that was excellent, excellent. And just what I want to leave everyone with is that SWIFT term product, which is convertible, and you can have a consumer approved in 25 minutes, right? If there's no red flags, everything's smooth, definitely worth a shot. And just like Phil said, I've seen them come up number 1, 2, 3, but definitely in the top 5. So to have that convenience and the convertible option is a no-brainer. Definitely worth looking at. Comp is great as well. So, typically there's something that you have to give up, and on this product, there's really nothing. So I love this, love the new IUL. This was great. So what we're going to do is, like I said earlier, we're going to send a thank you email to all participants. You'll have it in your inbox before the day is up. Everything will be included. And if you're with another IMO, transfer over to us. Take advantage of cash for contracting or leads for contracting, and then we'll show you how to get started. And then just a few other things I'll mention, and then we'll have our giveaway question of the day. So real fast, if we can move to the next slide here, this is what's interesting. So we have a cheat sheet that we put on our website for all of our agents, and we basically look at this every month and we say, okay, what are the top instant issue solutions? What are the top voice app and voice sign solutions? Because technology and underwriting is changing so fast now, right, in the industry, as we all know, right? We've seen more movement in the last couple of years than we've seen in 20 years combined. And we have to be on top of this. So you as an agent, you need to be on top of this and have your finger on the pulse. So this cheat sheet is great if you're selling over the phone, virtual, whatever it is, which you should be by now. Everything's at your fingertips here. And as you can see, top right corner, top instant issue solutions, check out Symmetra there, okay? Number 2. Now, here's what's neat. Another 500,000. So Bestow, I love. Okay, as you know, Bestow is one of our leading companies on Insure Me Now Direct. But here's what's neat about Symmetra. Another $500,000, right? 25 minutes versus instant, which 25 minutes is not a big deal. The convertible option is huge. Okay, so that's the icing on the cake. Let's look on the bottom left side. So this is every single carrier, non-med. This tells you what products, issue ages, everything that's available for that particular product that can be sold over the phone. And then the bottom right side, so voice app and voice sign solutions, another big one, right? Because you want to get the client in and out and move on to the next. So that's a quick summary of what's coming up, number 1 through 10. And again, we'll include this in the thank you email as well. But you need to have this stuff, this and the quoting engine. And then I would say Evaluate, our new underwriting tool. I would say those 2 or 3 things. If you have that up on your smartphone or on your screen in front of you, you have everything that you need from A to Z to quote and make the sale and accurately underwrite the client. Okay, the next slide. So quoting the IUL, we have hands down the best quoting engine that's available in the industry. We were the pilot for iPipeline. And we are one of the only agencies to have this right now, again, at no charge. So this is so neat. And you've been on our quoting engine before. You've seen how easy it is to run a term quote, right? It takes 2 seconds. And you can compare all the top 5, top 10, which Symmetra always shows up. They're part of it. Now you can do the same thing with permanent. But here's what's, in my opinion, is the differentiator. So talk about saving time. You're selling over the phone, you're selling virtual. You'll be able to put in the client's basic information, right? Age and gender and face amount and let's say the top 5, top 10. So you can do the same thing now with IUL and permanent. And if you look at the top right screen, this is going to show you, right, from number 1 to, let's say, number 10, what carrier and product comes out the best and show you cash value. So a cash value column, and get ready for this. With a click of a button, it takes all of this information and drops it into an e-application, the iGo e-app. So all you do is fill out what's ever missing with the client on the phone, hit submit, you are done. There's no closing out and then going to the carrier software, remembering a password, a login. Everything is seamless in real-time fashion. And you got to run with this stuff, okay? And if you're not too comfortable, just do some examples, run some sample quotes and run through the process. So then when the consumer's on the phone, boom, you're comfortable, sign them up in 10 minutes or less, move on to the next sale. But check this out. And yes, Symmetra is part of the platform, which I love. Okay, co-branding. I said it probably 20 times already. You have to get the message out. Everybody in South Florida, right, needs to know that you're Bill Levinson, the insurance go-to, the guru, right, when it comes to long-term care, IUL, whatever it is. They have to remember you. Okay, and I don't care if you're in Austin, Texas, Sacramento, New Jersey, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay, you have to be known as the go-to, and the only way you're going to be known, right, unless you're the mayor, right, which you're not. Oh, actually, we do have a few mayors that are agents, believe it or not, but typically you have to figure out a way to plant the seed. So we have all of this co-brandable marketing material at no charge. Okay, videos, e-blasts. Okay, it's called a GIF, a GIF. We can make these little images, right? We can have your logo, have your picture, your phone number, your website, anything that you want to choose from our library, we can create for you at no charge as long as you're an active agent. Even the life settlements, I was talking about that earlier. Okay, when you think about this number, think about this for a second. 2021, over 3,000 policies were sold through a life settlement. Okay, LIMRA statistic. You can look it up online. So why not offer this service to your prospects, right? It's the opposite of selling a policy, right, to a consumer. It's, hey, do you have a term or universal life or whole life that you don't need anymore? Okay, or maybe you're really, really sick and you're 72 and you want to travel the world, and wouldn't it be nice to get a check for $500,000? Okay, maybe you have 2 or 3 policies, whatever it is, but offer this service to your clients. So important, because otherwise you're going to have one of these big companies like Coventry that's going to market direct to your consumer, right? And they're going to keep the commission, okay? And they're going to be the Superman or Superwoman to your client. So bring this stuff up. It's so important. And we have all of the marketing material to plant the seed so they remember you as the insurance guru. Okay, very important. And by the way, when you're marketing, you don't just want to talk about life insurance. You want to talk about disability, long-term care, annuities, these life settlements, okay? All the above. Very, very important. Okay, let's keep moving along here. So the podcast, Bill Levinson Experience, episode 38 and 39 is in front of you. And I want to talk about this for a second. Ringy, the new CRM tool, is a game changer. I spoke about it earlier. Here I sit down and interview the CEO and the head of sales, Carlos and Bradley. They developed this platform. It's insane. It's like the Facebook of CRM tools. It's amazing. Okay, check this out. We negotiated 30% off for our agents, right? If you find this on the street, it's $99 a month. Levinson agent, $69 a month, okay, for the first 6 months. No brainer, okay? By the way, you can listen for free. You can learn and take a look. If you say to yourself, hey, I don't want to spend any money, I want to try this out for a couple weeks, free trial. Okay, you just mentioned you're a Levinson agent, and we have the link that you can actually sign up on our site or ask any one of our marketers. Right-hand side, another great concept to open doors, eliminate debt using a whole life product called Your Family Bank, YFB. You probably heard of this by now. Okay, so we have 2 of the main carriers and products used, Mutual Trust Life and Lafayette Life, for their whole life products. So this concept is also amazing. I sat down with Larry and his son. We spoke for 1 hour all about YFB and how this helps agents and consumers every day, okay, by leveraging this strategy, especially at a time like this, okay? You know, I don't have to remind you of what's going on in this country right now. Let's keep moving. Okay, future trainings. This is my last slide, by the way. Very important, right? You got to constantly feed your head with these new ideas. Listen to these presenters. I feel like if you can pick up one nugget, it's time well spent, okay? The left-hand side is our new technology, 2 new platforms we're rolling out on the 28th. This is going to change your business, speed up everything from A to Z, including underwriting and those outstanding forms. The right-hand side, very important, that is a training breakdown for Ringy. Ringy is the CRM tool I mentioned a few times. So we pick different hot topics, and then we have a part 3 and 4 of the one-on-one training with Carlos and Bradley. Definitely worth your time, okay? All of this won't cost you a penny, by the way. And you can do the free trial, so you can dive in and start using it, and that won't cost you a penny either. So worth checking out, I promise you. And then Agency Automator every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Kevin, our programmer, hosts those live. Okay, our last slide here in our question of the day. So what I want to do first is I want to talk about our way of marketing, right? And our way of getting the word out. So every life insurance agent in the country knows about Levinson and Associates, okay? And I always say you don't have to listen to what we do, right? Just watch what we do and learn and pivot and try new things, okay? We just had an agent that's in his 80s sold a UL product that was $1.32 million of annual target premium, folks. Okay? This agent is using Ringy. This agent is using our Facebook leads. It doesn't mean he has to know enough to be a programmer and build and code websites. No, but he knows enough to be dangerous. Okay? He just wrote the largest sale in history. Okay? And by the way, this was like 6 weeks ago. So this isn't something that happened 17 and a half years ago. This is fresh. So you can do it. Okay, I promise you. You can. I don't care if you're 17 right out of high school or 92, right? And you're still loving the industry and loving helping these families. You can do this. I promise you. Check out our Facebook page and you can see all the testimonials and comments. In fact, that agent I'm talking about shared his comments. Okay, so you can check out the Facebook page and let us know what you think. We're going to end with this. If we don't leave our past behind us, it can destroy our future. Live for today, not for what yesterday has taken. The past is the past. It's a new you, right? It's a new world. Try these things. Leave everything else behind you. Give it a shot. Jump in. Okay, if you get one like, one comment, one referral, great. It's one more than what you had yesterday. Okay, and you learned. Great. And if you got 0 likes and 0 comments, change the message a little bit. Try something new. And if that doesn't work, you try something new again. If the side door is locked, you try the back. Back door is locked, you cut a hole in the freaking roof if you have to. But either way, you figure out a way to get in and be successful. That's the name of the game. Our question of the day. I spoke about life settlements a couple times today, okay? You got to be quick, by the way. Get your little fingers on the keyboard because you got to answer first and correctly. I spoke about life settlements, and I spoke about an amazing statistic that I couldn't believe when I first saw this, okay? The question is, in 2021, how many policies were sold through a life settlement process? In 2021, how many policies were sold through a life settlement process? You tell me the number, you win. Andrew's going to tell us who was first and who was correct. Andrew, do we have a winner, my friend?
Yes, we do. It is Steve M. Steve M.
Stephen M., congratulations. The answer was 3,000 policies sold in 2021 through a life settlement transaction. Bring this up to your consumers, right, to your book of business. You never know. It's a shame if a policy surrendered, okay, and they didn't get a penny for it. So bring it up. With that said, we have plenty of marketing material to help you spread the word. Everybody needs to know you're the go-to. Okay, let's have a great day, great rest of the week, a great weekend, great selling. Thank you again for taking the time, and keep your eyes peeled for our thank you email. We'll see you next week. Thanks again.